What's up, witches? It's Luna here with another unboxing. Another one? Yes, I went out running errands today, and when I came home, there was an unexpected package sitting on my couch, sitting on my throne. And I got another birthday present. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. You guys don't know how it makes me feel. Well, it probably makes you feel the same way. But how wonderful it is to know that somebody was thinking about me enough and, wishing me good things enough to send me a deck. Look at this, the Viking Oracle, Wisdom of the Ancient Norse by Stacey DeMarco. And I want to tell you a couple things. First of all, I just put this on my wish list like 2 nights ago. I was watching, it was probably Marianne from Revealing Light. And I like to look at the decks that she uses. I mean, any deck in her hands, she plays it like a violin. But she said Stacey DeMarco, and it's like, I know that name. Which decks do I have of hers? I have the Halloween Oracle, the Aradia Oracle, and Queen of the Moon. Those are all Stacey DeMarco decks. And I looked at her other decks and saw this Viking one. And when I had my DNA done, Norwegian and Swedish kind of came out of the woodwork somewhere, which is not in my family's oral history. English and German, Czechoslovakian. And I think what it is the Vikings. They came through England, and that Viking blood from England made its way to me. So I saw that she had this one, threw it on the list, and here it is. So exciting. And she sent me a wonderful note. This is from Roxanne Pettersen. I hope I'm saying that right. Happy birthday to a fellow Leo. Hope you have a wonderful birthday day. You are a blessing to us all. So sweet from Roxanne Pettersen. She is also one of my patrons. So thank you so much for your support. So we have a 2-part box. We have Stacey DeMarco. The artwork is by Jimmy Manton, who I believe also did he do all of the other decks I have of hers? I don't know, but possibly. This is Blue Angel. So you should know what one thing that you're going to see when I open this box. This printing is 2021. The copyright is 2016. So this is obviously a second printing. And, if you guys that are new to my channel wonder what's going on here, there's an Amazon wish list below, and my birthday is August 1st, next Monday. So if you want to buy me something from that wish list, I will read for you when I unbox the deck. So here we go. Big and Loud artwork by Jimmy Manton. I like that. 45 cards and guidebook set. Combining the symbolism and do you see that there's the matte shiny on top of matte thing happening? I find that very pleasing. Combining the symbolism and divinatory significance of the 25 Nordic runes with a further 20. Oh, okay, wait. The 25 Nordic runes with a further 20 Viking-themed cards. See, I didn't even look at what the deck, I just threw it on the wish list. This is what's so great about it. Viking Oracle is a powerful and comprehensive tool for insight and guidance from the Norse tradition. This deck offers a portal back through time into the intriguing culture of ancient Viking society, moving beyond stereotypes of warriors and raiders and delving into the extraordinary Norse mythos and the intricate and powerful belief system of this ancient people. You're invited to work with a range of card spreads and striking Norse imagery to deepen your connection with the fascinating world of the Vikings. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so the thing that I'm talking about that you're going to see because it's Blue Angel, the free piece of paper in every Blue Angel deck. Oops, it got caught. Is a free piece of paper. Then we have the book, the guidebook. See how thick it is? How many pages? I should look at, sometimes I think I don't look in very much detail, and you guys might want to know more, but I talk about what I care about, I guess. 118 pages. So a good guidebook. Let's dedicated to those who still follow the... Okay, now this word. Is it Vegvisir? And so will never be lost. So let's see how long the introduction is. It's long. We're not reading that. I thought I would introduce you to the rich, deep Norse cosmos by giving you a potted history of how things began. As you read through, notice the elemental energies inherent in the Scandinavian landscape: the fire, the ice, the snow, the waters, the big sky, the seasons, all of which shaped the Norse as a people. So she goes into mythology here, and I'm not going to read through that either. So the deck has 2 parts. There are 25 rune cards and a further 20 non-rune Viking-related cards. The first 24 cards in the deck are based on the runes of the Elterfuthark, the earliest of the Norse runic alphabets. The word Futhark comes from the first letters of each of the first 6 runes: Fehu, Uras, Turisas, Ansus, Raido, Kenas, or Kaunan. The rune alphabets were not specifically used like our modern English alphabet, that is, to write everyday words and correspondences, or like a syllabary, or, what do I want to say? Just sounds. What do they call each of those sounds? I don't know. Anyway, the 24 runes were often broken down. The rune not use of everyday words and correspondences, but the letters were used as magical sigils, as charms in spells, or as protective talismans. So I do want to go back, just read the first couple paragraphs. When I was a young girl, I fell in love with all things mythos, like other girls fell in love with Barbie dolls. I would borrow books on mythology from my local library and spend hours reading them. It all started with the Greek pantheon. Oh, that glamorous Aphrodite, that naughty Zeus. Here were these incredible beings with amazing powers who somehow still made human mistakes. Each of their epic stories helped me understand life a little bit better, but I particularly liked the goddess of the hunt, Artemis. Like me, Artemis seemed a bit of a tomboy at a time when I knew no other girls who were tomboyish at all. I also related to how mad she got when her animals were hurt. I thought to myself, I may not be much like Aphrodite, but I could grow into someone like Artemis for sure. So then she talks about the Iliad, and it takes a while to get to the Vikings, so I'm not going to read further on that. But let's find out about Stacey. Born in Sydney, Australia, she's an internationally respected spiritual practitioner, pagan teacher, author, activist, and nature luster. Her love of nature began when she was a young child, surrounded by animals of all sizes and types. Growing up, both her love of writing and of nature were fueled by her ferocious curiosity. Stacey began a lifelong love affair with mythos and ancient history as a preteen. Among her favorite tales were the Eddas and Homer's The Odyssey. Okay. Then we have Jimmy Manton, an award-winning illustrator who has provided artwork for numerous Blue Angel publications, including his many collaborations with Stacey DeMarco on the Oracle card sets Gods and Titans, Goddesses and Sirens, Earth Power Oracle, and the Halloween Oracle. So he didn't do Queen of the Moon. Whilst he has been drawing, or Aradia came after this. Whilst he has been drawing since his little opposable thumbs allowed him to grasp a pen, he's been obsessed with all things sci-fi and fantasy. It runs in the family, too. Jimmy was named after James T. Kirk, Star Trek's indomitable captain of the USS Enterprise. Okay, so he lives in Australia as well. Now, I have taken the plastic band off the cards, but that's as far as I've gone, I swear. Okay. And, typical Blue Angel 2-part sturdy box. Water. Here are the backs. Zoomy zooms. Here are the backs. We see they're reversible, which is appropriate because runes can be read in reverse. Do we just have these 2 columns? You have kind of the elements of some of the art that we're familiar with. Viking art and Celtic art are very similar. They certainly have similar elements. Okay, so Fihu. Now, here's another thing. There is a band, if you can call them a band, a tribe called Heilung, Heilung. They are from Norway, and their concerts are rituals. They're incredible. There's 8 or 9 guys, and then there's this incredible priestess who wears these antlers and this fringe that comes down to here, and they're just amazing. Look them up. If I remember, I will link them down below, their channel. So it's their music that's going to be in my ears. And they have a song called Futhork where they sing the Futhark. And in the middle, I think it's in the same song, this guy does a rune reading that's incredible. And while he's doing it, the woman's in the background making all the runes with her body. And this is the order of the runes. Like if you go to, what's his name, Bloom, Book of Runes that everybody had, was like the first one everybody got their hands on. They're in a different order. But this is the old way, Fehu. And we see the person that's on the back of the cards with the wolf headdress and a spear. And we have a number on there. Yay, we have the runic figure and we have a number. Urus. We have a woman. And look at the knotwork. I mean, it is Celtic knotwork. Very thick cardstock. Very, very thick. I'm thinking, do I have to have 2 cards? But it's very thick. Kind of like Alana Fairchild's decks. Turisas. Another woman with the winged helmet. Oh, they're just stunning images. And Jimmy Manton, you know, he's just got so much glam. Ansus is a mask. Raido. I think I'm going to get better versed in the runes through this. Kenaz. Gabo. Oh, look at that horn. Is that a drinking horn? And this, I'm just kind of not... Okay, so we have the rune there. We've got this horn with fire coming out of it. And here's another horn that looks like it's maybe a drinking horn closed at the bottom. Wunyo. Look at her. Everyone in the world looks the same to Jimmy Manton, I gotta say that. Hagalaz. Look at that sword. Whew, how can you even pick it up? Nautis. So this one and Raido only have the symbol. I wonder, let's see. Let's see here. So, Urus, Turisas, Raido. All right. Let's see if there's a mention here. The Norse were more mindful, blah, 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 blah. It does not mention. Fehu. And they give pronunciations. Urus, Turisas, Ansus, I don't see that. Oh yeah, Ansus, Raido. Kenaz, Gebu. Just making sure I got it right. Wunyo. Hagalars. And then Nautis. Now this. It says it's pronounced now this. Now these. Isa. All right. So they don't talk about the images on the cards from what I can see. Okay. There's like a condor or something. Again, I think I have 2 cards. Yera. It's got to be Yera. Sorry, back to the book. I'm thrilled when people tell me how to pronounce things that I don't know how to pronounce. It's a service. Yera. Okay. A was, or you was. All right. Yera. That red beard, and there's another kind of mask or a sculpture. Perthro. I don't remember that name at all. Perthro. Perthro. And they did it in the simplest way possible for English speaker. Elhaz. Ooh. Men in antlers. Yeah. Soyolo. 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 Soyulo. Soyulo. Okay. Soyulo. I think. And Tirwas. Okay. So rock. Berkano. That looks like an easy one. Berkano. Berkano. Ewas. Wait. Oh. Okay, hold up. We have this one and that one. Let's see, number 13. This one, Awas or Uwas. And this one, Awas. It's spelled exactly the same. Yewas, Uwas. I think I would want to go with Uwas, or Auwas and Ewas. But they need to be different, I think, don't they? So we know what we're talking about. Manaz. Lagoos. So we have another one that's just a character. Lagoos. Ingus. Ingwas. Ingwas. Okay, so this is Lagoos, and this is Ingwas. I smell a rat. Okay, Dagas. Otila is where I've heard this one before. Otila. Now, okay, so that's the end. Now we have the Void. Fenrir. This is the dude on the backs of the cards. Yep, the very same. Freya. Hello, love. There she is on the back of the book, too. Yes, indeed. Okay, do you tell us how to pronounce the names, too? I hope. Is it Frid? Frid? No, she doesn't tell us how to pronounce the names. But Fridgerd is what I imagine. Look at Hel. Isn't she glorious? Oh my goodness. Wow. I have nothing else to say. Except I want to go straighten my hair and wear horns on my head. Loki. Yes, condolences to everybody that's ever named a dog Loki or a cat. Mani. Odin. Ragnarok. That was a really good show, by the way. Skadi. Oh, she's amazing, too. Good job, Jimmy. Soul. Do they have a sun goddess? Okay, Soul is both a goddess and the sun itself. Soul and her brother were born of time, Mundilfari, when the universe is being created. Soul was as golden and beautiful as her brother was silvery and light. So he's the moon. Mani, yes, with one name for the moon as well as a name of a god. So there, no, that's Odin. There he is. Look, he's the moon. How did I miss that? He's the moon. And she is the sun. Wow. Sunstone. The 9 worlds. The halls. The halls of Valhalla. The Norns. Oh, yeah. The triple. The Thing. Okay, I gotta do this. The Thing. So with each of the cards, there is a bold paragraph, then there's a verse, and then there's the description. The Thing. Make a firm decision. Do your due diligence regarding contracts and legal disputes. If you're involved in a political situation at work, get to the heart of the matter and be flexible. Try diplomacy before resorting to harsher means. Okay, so we call upon, this is the verse, we call upon the gods to witness and to converse, to help us be wise, to speak with clarity, to be just, to be honorable, to make decisions with eyes fair to the future that will benefit kin, community, and those who are yet to walk upon this world. While Norsemen had a reputation for being savage fighters and raiders, they also had well-established rules for settling disagreements and upholding their laws. All free men, slaves were not included, could attend regional or kinship things, in italics, where they would participate in discussions of political and legal issues. In keeping with their oral tradition, all applicable laws and guidelines were recited by a learned speaker. Such speakers were custodians of existing laws, and also marked and held new or altered laws. The arrangement of marriages and the settlement of personal legal disputes were settled at local things. People could also call for an impartial third party to judge a dispute, while some disputes were settled by holmgang, a duel. Depending on the country, things might be ranked from local to regional to national things, like our local high and supreme court. So the thing is kind of the court. Typically, punishments were not death or torture. The most severe punishments involved the confiscation of land or goods and or exile, to be thrown out of a kinship group, to lose the support of the community, and to be a hated outcast. This was a terrible fate for a Viking. As most thing sites were out in the open until the last few years at the time of writing, archaeologists had found very little physical evidence to guide our understanding of the proceedings. However, the 11th century thing site recently discovered beneath a parking lot in the town of Dingwall, Scotland, is just one of a number of new finds. From these, we have learned that things were social as well as legal events. Depending on the size of the thing, marketplaces may have been set up, hunting parties organized to procure food for those attending, and brewmasters called from far and wide to provide ale. Most of us welcome wise counsel when we ask for it, and for justice to be served when necessary. Should this card come to your attention, know that you will be granted both these gifts should you be open enough to accept them. Okay, so a thing. So I'm immediately thinking of like Stonehenge, and they have found a Woodhenge that was, miles from it, but structured, and the finds there looked like that was the place where people stayed and partied, and then the big rituals and things went on at the Stonehenge. But these big gatherings, the calling together of the tribes. So it sounds like things were this calling together, but also the time and place to make marriages, to settle disputes. And yes, it would have been a big social thing. Of course it would. News and gossip and people selling stuff, and wow. Thor. I just love that it's called The Thing. I think I'm going to adopt that. We need to have a thing. The Valkyries. Vegvisir. Vegvisir? I'll be looking these things up. She's got that. Yeah, there's that symbol. That's how, I think it was Tavia that told me about this. It's like, what is that symbol? Where was it? It was on something, and I'm like, I don't know what that symbol is, and somebody hipped me. Well of the Weird. And the Life Tree Yggdrasil. Wow. Okay. Let's do a proper blessing here. Man, somebody must be making spaghetti because I have got spaghetti smell coming in the window. You will note that it is nice and quiet here again because it again is a beautiful evening after a beautiful day. And it's nightfall, so the dew is coming down, the moisture and the humidity is coming down, and ooh, do I feel it. But it's okay. It'll settle. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. By water and salt, may you be blessed and made whole. By the sound of the bell, may you awaken. Let me zoom you back out. Okay. Now, I need to light my charcoal. So what I want to do, what I think I will do for my birthday, I always give myself lots of presents for my birthday, but one of the presents I want to give myself is to do one of these services where you just pay a little extra, and you can do it through Ancestry, which is where I did my DNA testing. But once you have those results, you can upload them to different places. And I want to find the best site for looking at ancient populations and which ones you're tied to. I want to go deep. So, welcome to my guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, especially my Viking, Swedish, Norwegian ancestors. I ask if you're available to be present here and help me to understand my roots better and help me to connect with my ancient past, knocking things off the credenza. I offer you fresh water and the fire of Azrael. Okay, let's give her a shuffle. This isn't going to be easy. The cards are thick and they're very long. This is a stretch for my hands. Yeah, no, ain't even going to happen. I don't even think I can do it sideways. They are very heavy cardstock. Yeah, look at this. I'm pushing with all my might. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm sad. But you know what I'm noticing? The very last paragraph here says something about, well, at least on this one, should this card come to your attention. But there's not like, I mean, there's these phrases here that talk about what the advice is. But there isn't a, like upright or reverse. I'm going to try to split this into two parts and do it that way. Will I get away with that? Yes. Just to give them a better start at a mix. And then usually, if I can't shuffle a deck very well, riffle-wise, which is the most randomizing way, then I'll do a pull and pick. Or a cut and pull. I don't know what I'm saying. It's not that late. It's just late enough that I've relaxed, let's say. All right. Now, for Roxanne Pettersen, my wonderful gifter. Oh, we need to look in the book for readings. Let's see what kind of. We have the sacred 3-card draw. The heart of the issue or question, the challenge, and the solution. And then there's some other big ones. So we'll go with the 3-card. The Pantheon technique. Okay. It's talking about how to bless the deck. Oh, dedication for your cards. Take them outside. Well, I'm sitting next to an open window. There is a lot of air coming in right next to the woods. Whether you're by the sea or inland, you can use the landscape around you for energy, just as the Vikings did. Burn some bay leaves or sage. Yes, done. Or best of all, pine needles or pine resin. Allow these to burn and smoke fragrantly. Next, throw some salt upon the pack. Sea salt is best. Saying, well, we already did the salt. I cleanse, I renew, I protect. Light a silver candle. There it is. It's in a silver cup. Close enough. I ask that the power of the 9 worlds bless me in these cards. I ask that Odin, the All-Father, who governs divination and wise consultation, bless these cards. These honor you. I honor you. I ask for guidance and truth, awakening and clarity, and the strength and courage to make changes should I need to. Let's put in a little bit more fire of Azrael because it wants us to pass them through some more smoke, saying, I dedicate these cards to the greater good. May only good enter here. May I be virtuous in my actions. And so it is. Okay. Here we go. And then the Pantheon technique. To use this technique, spread the entire deck out on a table or the floor, or better still, the earth. Breathe deeply, relax, and allow your gaze to soften as you look over the deck. Notice which card or cards attract you, which jump out at you or call to you in some way. The card or cards you identify in this way will represent either concepts you need to integrate into your life right now or those that can assist your growth at this time. Take the time to consider the messages of such cards closely. Then, of course, there's the 1 card, but we're doing the 3. Now we're ready. Roxanne. What does Roxanne need to know? What gift can I give her from this wonderful gift that she's given me? Okay, let's pull. This is the heart of the issue or the question. The challenge. The solution. Okay. We have Loki, so the heart of the issue or the question. Hooray for books where it's easy to look up the cards. Looking at you, wild unknown. Okay. Develop your gifts, so the heart of the issue or the question. Develop your gifts of oration and clear speech. Play more often. Laughter is a God's given gift. There may be someone in your life that isn't what they seem. Try a more lighthearted approach. So Loki, if you don't know, is their trickster god. Like Coyote in the Native American, he brings in chaos, basically, brings in upheaval. So the issue here might be, as this is saying, it's time to lighten up and start to play and, be a little bit of a trickster and what's the word I want here? Just kind of a free spirit, It can also be saying that you have an issue with things not being under your control, with things being a little chaotic and in the lap of the gods, and just, the randomness of life might be an issue. It might also be an issue to, just when things come out of the blue, surprising, catch you off guard. These are the times when our controlling left brain kind of gets shocked into silence and we can really access the right side. Okay, here's the verse. Fin, fur, scale, skin. Flight, fight, song, sin. All are available to me. I shift my shape and your mind. I trick my way into your play. Loki is part of that class of gods known as tricksters. Although tricksters taught life lessons by tricking, shape-shifting, playing the fool, or simply playing, they were not evil. By humbling the righteous and mighty and exposing the unjust, they simply rebalanced what they saw as out of balance. Loki was a well-equipped trickster. As a shapeshifter, he had few rivals. He was believed to have been able to change into a seal, a woman, a fish, a horse, and even a housefly. His children were as varied as Fenrir the wolf and Hel the giantess. Ooh! Loki played the trickster superbly and is featured in many stories in the mythology of the Norse. One mythos that displays Loki's talents is the story of the theft of Thor's magical hammer, Mjolnir. Thor awoke one fine morning to find his hammer missing. Little did he know that King Primr of Jotnar, which are giants, had stolen it to blackmail the gods into granting him the hand of the beautiful goddess Freya. Loki flew around until he came upon Primr, who engaged him in conversation. Loki acted innocent and soon ascertained that the hammer was buried underground and relayed Primr's ultimatum to Thor. Thor and Loki then visited Freya and asked whether she would marry Primr. They got quite the mouthful from her in response, so the gods of Asgard gathered to discuss an alternative strategy. Finally, they decided to cover the burly Thor in a bridal veil and present him to Primr as Freya. They hoped that during the wedding proceedings, Thor would get close enough to his hammer to grab it, and so Freya the bride was presented to Primr, who happily invited them all to a wedding feast. Thor, the big warrior, began to shovel food through his veil at a great rate, prompting Primr to question Freya's massive appetite. Trickster Loki answered, saying Freya had starved herself in her eagerness for the coming nuptials. Unable to control his lust, Primr peeked behind the veil, only to be met by a set of fiery eyes, definitely not fit for a maiden. Primr questioned Loki about Freya's eyes, and Loki responded that her eyes were red because she hadn't slept for 8 nights due to her excitement in meeting him. Finally, when it was time for the ceremony, the Jotnar brought out Mjolnir and laid it in Freya's lap to sanctify her prior to the marriage vows. Thor then had his chance. It grabbed his hammer and threw off his veil, revealing his true form. Primr was defeated, as were all of his people. It is wise at this time to take a leaf out of Loki's book and find a way to laugh at our troubles. There is almost always humor in any situation, and it is a great talent to find it. Should Loki call you, look to the lighter side of the situation. There is one, or at least there is a smarter, brighter alternative. So that's what's at issue, just the approach to things, maybe approaching things too seriously or not allowing yourself. Sometimes when things are very serious and grim and worrisome, we won't allow ourselves any fun because we think it's not the time, it's disrespect, it's whatever we think it is. But there's always time to come at things with a lighter attitude, to find the humor in something, to not allow a situation to drag you down, if at all possible. Okay, now the next thing is the challenge. So we have challenge, issue, challenge, solution. The challenge is the 9 worlds. Everything is connected. The fate of one affects the fate of all. Unite for a cause. Darkness and light, good and evil, beginnings and endings, birth and death are all connected. We are never alone. The mighty ash holds all 9, and the weird it flows through all ends, all beginnings, all thoughts. Okay, the mighty ash holds all 9, and the weird it flows through all ends, all beginnings, all thoughts. Each a place for someone, sky, earth, trees, ice, fire, death, light, all united, all home. Okay, so the 9 worlds here really is a statement of unity. Everything being part of the cycle. In Norse cosmology, there are 9 home worlds, the New Heimar, or realms, all of which are held within the branches or roots of the world tree, Yggdrasil. In this way, all 9 worlds are connected and each influences the others. Then it names them all. Different realms correspond to various aspects of our physical world. Within the Norse cosmos, we learn that everything is connected. The same tree holds up all 9 worlds, different though each world may be, and each world influences the others. While there's a natural ebb and flow and even battles between elements, the whole ultimately seeks balance and harmony. When all worlds end at Ragnarok, we know that the cycle begins again and the worlds reform elements first. So we don't really get, when this card comes to you. That's all in this little bolded paragraph. but it's pithy. The verses are definitely enigmatic. And I want to see if she says anything about... Oh, and then there are runes only spreads. Okay, that's awesome. I think what I would want to do is use my actual runes or make a set that goes with this. That's a good idea. Let me see here. Dedication of your cards. The rune cards feature a reversed meaning. Ah, yes. Okay. I'm looking to see if she says anything about... Quick note on the pronunciation. The deck has 2 parts. 24 runes are broken down into 3 groups of 8, and these are called Aetir or Eights. Each 8 was ruled over by a particular deity. All right. There's more information about this rune card than we... Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to go any deeper into that. These certainly give you what the card is about without a lot of extra, which, that's awesome. So the issue is kind of the chaotic times and allowing yourself to have a little bit of fun, allowing yourself to see things in a lighter mind. The challenge is the fact that everything is connected. It's kind of like, if I could just separate this, if this was just, if we could just compartmentalize everything. Hold on. Into neat, easy, contained packages, then we'd be okay. But the 9 world says that everything is connected, and darkness and light are both sides of the same wheel. Birth and death are connected. We're never alone. So that's the challenge, is maybe seeing the connections between things, seeing the connections between maybe things that you're doing internally, magic that you're doing, and how it's manifesting externally. Seeing how things that seem like they're disconnected are actually connected. But I think the challenge, the ultimate challenge here, is in recognizing that connection of everything and working with it. Working with it. That means working your magic, remembering as below, so below, as within, so without. Work your magic. Okay. And Lagoos is the last one. So it would be interesting to shuffle the deck with reverses, and then, these non-rune cards would just be read upright, and runes can reverse then. Lagoos, do not push forward. Okay, the solution. Here's the solution. Do not push forward. Do not force the issue. There is a time and place for everything. Allow things to come to you now. Be refreshed by a slower pace. Allow yourself to dream. Use your imagination more fully. I mean, that's a chunk of advice, isn't it? Saying right now, force is not called for. That the solution here is in those connections. So the challenge is, if you want to work on something, work on this. Work on your connection to these things. If you can't push the river, if things aren't happening fast enough outside and things are getting a little too serious and, or a little too chaotic, and we're being asked here not to push, not to force, allow things to come to you, then this is saying that it's all connected. Take a lighthearted attitude. And part of that lighthearted attitude is that feeling you get inside that says, magic is happening right now. It's like this sureness. I don't know how to describe it other than that. There's just a certainty. I was talking about it last week with finding my perfect parking space. If I'm like, I really need a parking, I'm not going to find it. But if I get into that mindset, show me my perfect parking space, ta-da, front space right in front of the door. every time. So here, so, you know, that lighthearted mindset is also that, stepping into that sureness instead of the worry, sureness and humor. Oh, it's a siren. I was going to say you hear some mighty strange sounds from the woods when the windows are open, but it's the highway that runs past us. When there's a siren, it comes and it bounces off the woods, and it sounds like it's right there. Okay, here's the verse. I float upon the waters, supported, and I feel the ripples of everything. I ripple back to everything, and there is more, and I flow closer, I flow deeper, and it is all beautiful and wise. I am Lagoos. Sorry. Okay. Let's read this whole one because we haven't read one of the runes yet. Water could be seen as the dominant element in the Norse world. The Vikings sailed upon it, extending their empire and becoming masters of the seas. The oceans, rivers, and lakes connected them with the rest of the world, and they harvested, benefited from the riches they found in those bodies of water. For instance, the simple art of drying cod enabled the Vikings to be at sea or off exploring new lands for extended periods of time. Because the long-lasting staple ensured they could eat even when other food supplies were depleted. The Norse also watched the landscape changing from green to white as winter snows and ice advanced and even the waterfalls froze solid. These conditions of the changing element of water dictated how they lived and where and when they traveled. Lagoos, pronounced Lagoos, is the rune of the waters or lake. It concerns itself with imagination and dreaming. It suggests we allow things to flow to us rather than aggressively going after them. The saying, still waters run deep, could have been written for this rune, as it suggests we should allow ourselves to delve deeply into our own emotions. Yes, that's what we're talking about, work internally, and our dreams to discover their pleasures and wisdom. Lagoos carries a deeply spiritual energy, one that asks us to connect with the more intuitive and even psychic aspects of ourselves. It asks us to feel our way rather than to think our way forward. So that's the same thing with Loki, getting out of that, locked in left brain looking for those kind of solutions. The solution here is to be happy in the now, to flow with, and don't try to push the river. And work on the inner, because the inner and the outer are connected. When you work on it in here, you will manifest it out there. And then there's the reversed meaning. Something has been taken far too literally. Something is pushing you to do something you would rather not. Someone is pushing you. There's current inflexibility, a lack of flow, or a lack of imagination. And of course, the element is water. Wow, okay. Excellent reading. I'm very drawn to the images as they're sitting here on the desk. I love the mat because with my light, if I'm sitting like this, usually if there's shiny cards, I can't see. So I love this deck, and I'm very happy for my birthday present. And I send you so many blessings and so much gratitude, Roxanne, for your patronage and your wonderful gift. I always feel so unworthy, and I know I overthank probably, but anyway. Thank you again. And as I said at the beginning, if you would like me to read for you, check that Amazon wish list down below. Send me a gift. I will read, and it doesn't have to be my birthday. You can do it any old time. My collection is now at 301 because it hit 300 when when Coco sent me 2 decks, and now I have 301. Let's get to that 303. No, wait, 330. It got to 330. This is 331. I'm 2 decks away from 333, the most sacred number of all. 2 more decks, you guys. Come on, get me there. I know I will be well past 333 after my birthday because my daughter always gets me amazing, amazing decks. So, Roxanne, I can't wait to hear from you, how you, if that reading resonated with you or not. It's certainly, they have a simplicity about them, which I really, really appreciate. This is one of those decks you can just grab off the shelf and read straight up, grab them off the shelf, lay them out, look them up, read them. It doesn't have to, you don't need a degree. You don't need a degree. You don't need to learn the whole system, although you will have a familiarity with the runes versus the other cards. But wow, thanks again. Such a great deck. All right, you guys, if you got a kick out of this too, hit the like button, and you can subscribe too if you want to see more, and hit the bell if you want to know exactly when that more is happening. I will see you tonight for a live stream at 7:30 Eastern Time. And I think my gift decks will all be making an appearance. And we'll have some fun. All right, I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.